Elves, nature's way of telling us to love her. The tales of elves are centuries if not millennia old, and vary quite a lot, and today, elves are more popular in fantasy than ever. They are spacefaring, highly developed, but dying race in Warhammer 40k. They play a major role in Warhammer, Warcraft, and most medieval settings, and more in anime and manga. While the classical elves were, as many other tropes, originally inspired from Tolkien, or rather Lord of the Rings, and then later Dungeons and Dragons, even today, the original influence that goes far beyond the last century can be felt throughout the different kinds of elves. The split into high elves, dark elves, and wood elves has its roots in different kind of elves from older Germanic and Celtic myths, which are also following a similar distinction, while simultaneously merging different kinds of tales and myths and legends into one single concept. On one hand, you have the more fairy-like high elves. They are either portrayed as mischievous, mysterious, or secretive spirits of natures, akin to fairies, and they are mostly benevolent and holy creatures. This is especially pronounced in Icelandic tales, or the Tale of Yggdrasil. And this template is also likely the source of Tolkien's inspiration for the modern high elves. But it was his influence that ultimately turned these celestial elves into a pure force of good, order and justice, as well as established their skillfulness in terms of combat and magic. Their counterparts, the Dark Elves, are not only corrupted or vengeful elves, but they date back to the Germanic legends about a fiendish creature that at night will sit atop of sleeping persons and thus cause intense feelings of breathlessness and suffocation. And the myth itself likely hails from early descriptions of sleep paralysis, and likely greatly contributed to the concept of dark elves, who are equally powerful, intelligent, and skillful as the elves, but they are much more malevolent, or just straight up evil. Fun fact, the German word for nightmare, Albtraum, still holds the original German term for elves, which is Alp, and the English term nightmare has also a close German relative, Nachtmar, and the original concept of a fiend sitting on top of a paralyzed sleeping person, although it has fallen out of fashion nowadays, is still around in my language, and it is called Albdruck, or Alp pressure. This myth, together with the idea of corrupted elves, especially through the hands of Melkor and Sauron, which are themselves corrupted, and in turn twisted elves into orcs, are likely the origin of the archetypical dark elves, which we are familiar with. And finally, the wood elves are more akin to the natural spirits and fairies of legends, but they are still shaped by influence of Tolkien, especially by Galadriel and her own realm. They are more interconnected with nature, especially with their forests, and in modern times they are also used to offer contrast between the oftentimes highly industrialized humans and dwarves, or the brutish and aggressive orcs, and their own way of living, which is much more tuned to and balanced by nature. And that's pretty much it, or rather my take on the origin of the three main modern elven archetypes. What's your opinion on them? Let me know down in the comment section. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.